Hello, and welcome to part 2 of my 3-part series on using music therapy interventions for anger. In this 3-part series, we're going over the 3 steps to managing anger: reset, rethink or reframe, and respond. I encourage you to watch part 1 before you watch this video, which is linked in the description, which is all about resetting our brain to get to a place to be able to manage anger. Today in part 2, we'll be talking about step 2 of rethink or reframe using music therapy interventions, so stay tuned. Hey guys, I'm Leela from Uku-Lela Therapy. I'm a music therapist and mental health counselor, and I use music and expressive arts in fun, creative, and research-based ways to help with things like mental health challenges, wellness, and self-development. So when we talk about rethink or reframe, what do I mean by that? Well, now that we've regulated our nervous system in part 1, we can cognitively begin to think through the situation. To demonstrate this step, I'm going to play verse 1 in the chorus of the song Not Ready to Make Nice by the Chicks, and we'll talk about the lyrics afterwards and how they might relate to managing anger. If you'd like to participate and follow along, I've included a free link to a PDF in my description of the lyric sheet and the exercises we'll be doing. So as I'm playing the song, I want you to look at the lyrics along with me and start to think about what they could mean in relation to anger, what the song might mean in general, and if there is anything that you relate to.
Sounds good. Forget. I'm not sure I could. They say time heals everything, but I'm still waiting. I'm through with doubt. There's nothing left for me to figure out. I've paid a price, and I'll keep paying. I'm not ready to make nice. I'm not ready to back down. I'm still mad as hell, and I don't have time to go round and round and round. It's too late to make it right. I probably wouldn't if I could, 'cause I'm mad as hell. Can't bring myself to do what it is you think I should.
So what do you notice about the song and how it might relate to anger? Upon researching more about the song, I learned that it was actually a response to some backlash that people had about some political comments that the band made. So I guess it's kind of about not backing down and standing up for what you believe is right. Like we talked about in part 1, anger is a message to us. It serves a purpose, and in this case, the purpose was to seek justice. And this seems like a really useful way to do that. However, anger can be prolonged and cause more harm to us and the people around us. It might even cause more harm to us than to the party that we're angry about or mad at. For example, in this article I read about the song, it was very cathartic for the band to write the song and to be able to express how they felt about the situation, even if it did alienate some of their fans. But this is a great example of productive anger. But let's look at this through a different lens. How do you know when anger is not being helpful or productive? I'd say if it's causing harm to ourselves, if it's causing harm to other people around us, if it's not inciting any kind of change, and if it's decreasing the quality of life of yourself or the people around you. So let's go back to the lyrics in the song. So one of the lyrics is, forget, I'm not sure I could. What do you think is causing her to not forget about this situation? Or if you're ever angry about something, what might be causing you to not forget about it? Situation's already passed and it's not happening anymore. Usually what causes us to not forget is our thoughts about the situation. The actual emotion of anger, the chemical reaction happening in our brain when we're angry, is actually very short. This can be kind of attributed to like a fire. Like it burns for a little bit, but then it kind of dies down. thoughts we have about the situation are kind of like logs that we throw on the fire. A lot of the time when we are angry, we continue to grow the fire by throwing logs on it, by ruminating on thoughts like they shouldn't have done that, how dare they, I can't believe that happened to me, I can't believe they would be so selfish. Just a quick tip, look for words like should and must. Often those are coming from log thoughts. So back to our song, let's see if we can find any lyrics that could be considered log thoughts. One might be, I don't have time to go round and round, or it's too late to make it right, or even I'm mad as hell. Now in the right context, I mean, these thoughts are very valid and they could be helpful, but they're also things that we might tend to ruminate on if we're very angry. So in the next part of our video, I'm going to show you a handy dandy anger log that can help with this technique of rethinking and reframing. And this log is also included in the link in the description of the free download. So this technique is called ABCDE. Makes it easy as long as you know your alphabet. A stands for activating event, B stands for beliefs, C stands for consequences, D stands for dispute, and E stands for effective new approach. Let's take in the context of the chicks and their experience with this political dispute. A, activating event, what happened to trigger this angry response? In this case, it would be someone criticizes me about my political views. And for the sake of this activity, let's pretend like the chick's first reaction was not really a healthy one, which it may have been, we don't know. So moving to B, beliefs. These are things that you believe about the situation. So it might be something like they're stupid, they don't understand how the world works at all, they're not even considering my point of view, things like that. Again, normal thoughts, but the ruminating on them is what makes them log thoughts. And I would even throw in with beliefs feelings. So feelings that you had might be like anger, frustration, confusion, things like that. All right, C, consequence. This is the action that follows the beliefs and the feelings. What kind of things are you doing in response to those beliefs? The consequence might be I retaliate and argue with them. And then D, dispute. This is when you look at your beliefs and you kind of look at the bigger picture and look at other perspectives and see what else might be going on. So in this column, I might put maybe they were raised to believe this way. This is kind of their perspective and their worldview. It doesn't mean anything maybe about me. Or even if I don't agree, everyone has different views. And just a side note, this doesn't mean that you're excusing people or behaviors or you're okay with things that have hurt you or offended you. It just means that you're able to see all the perspectives and acknowledge that this is how it is and allow for multiple things to be true at the same time. And then we'll move to E, the effective new approach. So thinking about our disputed thoughts, what might your new reaction be? This might be to feel more calm, be more level-headed, and be able to have a civil discussion, or even write a song about it. So like I mentioned in part 1, managing anger is all about working with that space in between an event and your reaction. That is where our beliefs and thoughts about the situation live. So I encourage you, if you struggle with anger, to fill out one of these logs every time that emotion comes up for you, maybe right after or at the end of the day, kind of reflecting on those things. Soon, this way of thinking will become a habit, and you won't need to keep filling out logs. This is how we begin to rethink and retrain our brains to respond in new ways. Also in part 1, remember that we talked about the anger iceberg, and how anger is often a secondary emotion or response to another emotion. It tends to protect us from more vulnerable, scary to feel emotions, like hurt or embarrassment or sadness. So other important questions to ask yourself when you're angry: what emotion is underneath this anger? What message is this emotion sending me? And how can I productively use this emotion? So in the description, I've included a whole session plan for this 3-part series, including instructions, lyrics, in-depth anger logs, and these reflection questions and handouts if you're a music therapist or counselor and you'd like to use these interventions in your own practice. Thanks for watching, and if this was helpful for you, please like, share, and subscribe. I post videos every Friday on mental health, wellness, music therapy, expressive arts, etc. Stay tuned for part 3 of my series on anger. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day. Bye.